Don't you get snippy with me about mods. Speaking of snips, I got a special guest. Welcome back, guys. It is that time again. We have got my friend Dagger. Oh, I just said it again. I mean, I'm complimenting you way too much today. I got my friend Dagger here to help us out with more of the Galactic Republic. Dagger, how was your day, sir?
Woo!
That's what I'm talking about. We got more energy and excitement out of it this time. Let's go ahead and jump right into this. We're going to talk about the snippy one, Ahsoka Tano. Such a good character. And again, a unique kit, which Dagger's going to help me break down. So let's start off with her. Mine is Relic 5 currently because I ship harder, which you guys should be doing as well. All right, the basic. And I'm going to say it again. All assists are basic. Deal physical damage to target enemy and dispel all buffs on them. Great ability. On a critical hit, dispel all debuffs on Ahsoka and another random Galactic Republic ally. A good reason for crit chance. This attack can't be evaded if the target has foresight. Goes right through foresight. If another 501st ally is present, Ahsoka also recovers 5% health. So this actually, she could play in the 501st team. What's your thoughts on this one, Dagger?
Yeah, this is a really good basic. This is a really, really bleeping good basic.
It is so much fun to remove a taunt when you need to with a basic. I mean, you can, because she assists so much, you got to remember, you can hard target the taunter. She'll assist, remove the taunt, and then maybe even have her turn next and be able to drop a big bomb off of Padme. So, or you got to go through foresight. Like, Yoda's a pain when it comes to that. The only thing that would make this better if you go through stealth.
Oh, don't worry. Anakin goes before her and no one's in stealth, though.
That's a good point. So, that's right. To your point, if you got the turn order right, which is what, Dagger? Padme, Anakin, Ahsoka,
Anakin,
GK.
Snips, and then GK.
Yes, 100%. And that's a valid point. If he throws out his big wing damage and he removes that stealth, and all of a sudden she's going to do her job. All right, on the second ability, deal physical damage to target enemy. If Jedi Knight Anakin or General Kenobi is an ally, deal damage again. And if both are allies, deal damage a third time. If the ally leader is Galactic Republic, this attack deals 50% more damage. All allies recover 20% health, and all Galactic Republics also gain protection up, which is going into what? Courage. So there's a lot going on here in this one. The heal comes in clutch a lot, but I'll let Dagger kind of dig in on that. Go ahead, buddy.
Yeah, so one of the reasons this ability is so good is because you get to deal damage additional times for Anakin and Kenobi both being present.
Mm-hmm.
Pair that with the courage, and she has like, sure it's on a 3-turn cooldown, but she gets to open up with kind of a nuke, so to speak.
Yep.
Because as we mentioned before, Padme will go and either she'll kick or do her cleanse, which gives protection up, and then Anakin will go, and he'll most likely do his AoE. Remember that she's been called to assist twice already.
Right.
Right. So there's no taunts on the board. There's probably not going to be a taunt. There's probably going to be no stealth, which means she then gets to do this hit on a person of her choice.
Yep. And give you health and protection back.
Yeah, and give you more protection up. So then GK is just sitting there with a monster number of courage.
You won't actually see her. It's not like she goes in 3 times. It's just all 3 hits at one time. And if you look, you'll see the numbers pop up where you're going to see the 3. So keep that in mind. And one other thing. Go ahead.
They are not individual attacks. They're just individual instances of damage.
Right. It's just tripled up. Yeah.
For a bunch of.
I'm curious. Do you know, Dagger, if each of those separate attacks they have their own crit chance?
I believe they can. I believe they individually crit.
I believe that is the same as well. Crit. Yeah, that's where the crit chance comes in, and why mine is sitting so high at 97%. She's got a high crit chance anyway, but I tried to find secondaries to add to that because when it comes to her abilities on a crit hit here, dispel all debuffs, and then with the crit hit here as well is a huge priority for me in particular. All right, so the leadership.
Do it for the ship.
I think I did it one time with Night Sisters in 3v3 being a goof. But Jedi and Night Sister allies have plus 14% evasion and gain 20% turn meter whenever they evade. Well, I mean, this is a pretty weak. But to Dagger's point, it's just an Omega. Do it for the ship.
Yep.
I don't think we really need to talk about that, do you?
No. Leadership is not.
It's pretty terrible.
No bueno.
Yeah, it's pretty terrible. All right, so this is her Zeta, if I'm not mistaken, the Daring Padawan.
Yes, sir.
So Ahsoka has plus 40% max health, plus 10% evasion. She dodges like crazy. Plus 10% critical chance, plus 25 speed. Now, You don't see these in the kit. So when you come over here, you will not see this in their stats. This is added on when they go into battle, correct?
Yes.
These values are doubled while she has critical hit immunity. If Jedi Knight Anakin is an ally, Ahsoka gains critical hit immunity for 2 turns at the start of each encounter and whenever she uses a special ability. And then this is where the Zeta gets added on. If the ally leader is Galactic Republic, Ahsoka is called to assist whenever another Galactic Republic ally uses a special ability. Lots of turns.
Yes.
Dig into that one for me, Dagger.
Yeah, so I'm going to bounce out a new term here I mentioned to Mort earlier. She is what I call crit capped. Her crit chance is above 100%.
Yeah.
If Anakin's present, she gets plus 20% crit chance, and if you go look at her stats again, you'll see that her base crit chance at R5 is somewhere in the 70s, I believe, right?
Yeah, so she's sitting at 81% at Relic 5. She gains crit chance through her kit, to your point, through Mastery, so I'll show that real quick. If I can find it. Increases critical chance, critical damage, and damage. So she's gaining it naturally at Relic levels.
So at R5, with just her unique and no added crit chance, she's right around 98, 99% crit chance.
Yes.
So you don't need to put crit chance on her at the end, but we'll talk about that with the modding a little bit.
Yeah.
But she hits so hard. Like, she doesn't hit as hard as Anakin, but she hits a lot more, and it's a little bit better than death by paper cuts.
Yes.
She's the secondary damage dealer on the team, or tertiary if you count, courage as the primary source.
Uh-huh.
But as far as like characters' raw damage goes, she is the secondary damage dealer, but she also functions as a support and a healer and a buff dispeller, etc.
You'll notice she's really hard to kill in the beginning of any battle because of that critical hit immunity at the start, because Anakin is in the lineup, and that's where she comes in clutch as well. That 25 speed being doubled. My Ahsoka's slow. She's only 171, but she's theoretically running 221, and a lot of people miss that, especially because you want her to be my Kenobi's 203. But Ahsoka's kit with the Zeta's giving her an extra 50 speed because she, what is it? Because these values are doubled. Oh, yeah, when she has critical hit immunity. So she's, for 2 turns, she's fast as fire. So she goes before Kenobi. What were you going to say? Sorry.
I was also going to say, the crit immunity is really nice to start off with, but that crit immunity gets replaced by Padme's leadership if you have the Zeta, because while they have protection up, they are immune to crits.
Ah, that's right. Yeah. So she's double coverage.
Yeah, so she's covered initially off the rip by having the crit immunity because she's rather squishy. And then once you start going, she then regains that crit immunity.
Yep.
When it's not her turn.
Which is her turn, which is allowing her to keep that speed as well, which is nice. But again, she doesn't need a ton of speed because she assists so much. She's assisting constantly on this squad. All right, let's look at the mods. So from the modding standpoint, I've got her listed with offense mods with crit chance or health mods with crit chance. But to Dagger's point, when you get to the relic levels, you don't need to do crit chance anymore. And some people are actually, let me pull that visual down for you guys real quick. From the top 100 guilds in the game, they are doing 4 offense with 2 health. They're at 28%, and then at 17%, they got crit damage and health. And I agree with both of these to an extent, depending on where she's being used. But I like the offense side. How about you, Dagger?
I like the offense side, specifically on the Padme team, for versatility. She's already going to crit fine, and because you're using Anakin and Courage as your primary DPS, you're not super worried about her carrying the team's damage. But there are teams like GAS where when you attack out of turn against them, you cannot crit. So you'd rather have the offense there.
Right.
So you just kind of split the difference, in my opinion, with an offense set and a crit damage triangle.
Which is going to make her more versatile, to your point. If you can't crit, at least you can do some heavy offense.
Yeah, and also this goes end game once your Padme team gets semi-dissolved and she ends up with JMK, you also want the offense set there because Kenobi gives offense. So.
And here's another example where I'd rather have a circle that has health on it, but I've got protection because I did not have good luck with my health mods. So as I scroll through this, my Ahsoka is slower than I'd like her, and I would like a health circle rather than a protection circle on mine. And then I've also got offenses. This is why my Ahsoka's so slow. I put an offense arrow on her rather than a speed one. But on my list, you guys will see speed and offense. Either one is recommended. How about you, Dagger? How do you feel about the arrow?
I think it depends on where you're at in the game.
Mm-hmm.
Mostly because I think if you're putting an arrow on her, you definitely want the ability to 6E it because she's a pilot.
Yeah.
So if you're not putting that on her, I think more people have speed arrows at 6E. So I would prioritize whichever one you have a greater depth at 6E at. And I only say that because I don't think I would prioritize her mods high enough to like farm a mod just for her.
Yeah. And that's why I haven't 6E mod either, because I'm not a real big fan of having just a 16 speed with offense. It's decent, but I don't like the tenacity.
Yeah, the rest of those
defense on it
secondaries
either.
aren't great.
Yeah, this one's not the best.
Yeah.
Crit damage on the triangle. Go ahead.
In a vacuum, I prefer offense arrow.
Yes, and I do as well. I want, like you said before, when you can't crit, you do want that offense. And she's going to take so many turns anyway. Crit damage on the triangle is what 100% my preference, especially because her crit chance escalates. Unless you're pre-relic and can't get that crit chance up, you may want to do crit chance early on, and then once you get her to relic, bring her to the crit damage triangle. Cross is 1,000% offense, correct, Dagger?
Yeah. As long as you're with the Padme team, you're going to have an offense cross on her.
Right. And then the health on the circle would be the recommendation. Protection isn't going to hurt, but I had plenty of offense on this one. It was a triple offense mod, so I couldn't beat it. Unfortunately, I didn't hit any speed on it, but it had health, offense, speed, so I really couldn't pass it up. And then
it's a great mod.
And then your diamond and your square are going to be basically, you're going to be adding those secondaries of my recommendations. Dagger might have something a little bit different, but I prioritize health and offense, followed by crit chance if you need it, and then and protection. Everything else is just an added bonus.
Yep. I would prioritize it: offense, health, speed, crit chance if you need it, or if you can get it for free. Like, this mod's great; you get the crit chance for free.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, and then relic priority. Let's talk about it.
Yeah, I just want to say, too, that her modding doesn't really change from where you are in the game. She pretty much just kind of functions with the same kind of mods. You're just, like Mort said, adjusting for crit chance based on where you're at in the game.
That's a very good point. So, like every character, you're going to have to adjust them a little bit to get them where they're at. But she is basically offense-based and then crit-based. So, it depends on where you're at. And there's a lot of characters, man. The Mandalorian's a great example of that, where when he's early on, and we'll talk about that, but he's almost all crit chance. Then when he goes into relics, you got to dive on that crit chance because he gets so much of it. So but relic priority for me, I've got her listed as a 9, and the reason I have her listed as a 9 because I did do early game Padme. I love this character. I love that she's got a ship. Where'd she fall for you, Dagger?
So she's the third out of the foursome to go to relic. I would have her actually closer to like a 4 or a 5, but if you have a negotiator, you can bump her up to a 6 or a 7. And I only say that because I also treat my relic ratings like as where I take them to.
Yeah.
I think she functions at R5.
Yes.
Right? Whereas Anakin and GK not only are like higher priority to relic because of how important they are as pilots and characters, you also want them R7, R8, even in some cases at the end game Kenobi R9.
Good point.
Right? Like because you're pushing them higher, I have them just overall higher on the priority.
I'm gonna go ahead and drop mine down to a 7 to kind of split us there. I don't disagree with you.
Yeah, I mean, I would take it up to like a 6 or a 7 based on the fleet, but she does tend to be a reinforcement more than not.
Yeah.
So R5 should be sufficient.
Good point. Yeah, because she's coming from the ship standpoint. She's coming out from a reinforcement and doing what she needs to do. She's not front line.
Yeah.
All right, the Zeta priority. Yes or no? Yes. Just say yes.
Yeah. I mean, it's probably one of the better Zetas just on this team, only because it has a lot of the Zetas on this team. As you read them, you'll realize they're kind of corner case.
Mm-hmm.
Her Zeta literally just says, if the leader's Galactic Republic.
Yep.
Not the whole team.
Yeah,
right?
She can play.
There's no real anywhere.
Yep.
Yeah. Just as far as a plug-and-play Zeta, it's just really good. Qui-Gon,
so that means
JMK, as I said before,
under gas, she's going to go as well, right? He's Galactic Republic.
Yes.
So she can play with 5-0 first.
Just based on like how flexible the verbiage of her Zeta is, it's probably the best Zeta on the team. Now, for the team, it's not maybe the best Zeta, but it's the most universal Zeta, I think, on the team.
Good point. Anything else in her kit you want to cover on her?
The last thing I'll kind of say is, as you get towards the end game and you start using her for, against other really strong characters, you're gonna migrate her maybe over to like a health cross, just because you want her to be able to have a little more bulk to her.
Yeah.
And she's gonna do her job attacking out of turn regardless.
Yeah, and I got that listed on my sheet here too. Relic, you'll want to add more health to her, so maybe that's the cross as the replacement. So again, that's making adjustments to what the team is. Speed minimum goal. What do you recommend? And keep in mind she gets that extra
180?
50.
Yeah, like 180, 185.
Okay, so that's the bare minimum. Yeah, that's I'm thinking
well,
that as well.
just to keep her within a reasonable pace, because we had Anakin at 250, right?
Yeah, we had.
So
Anakin
if we take her to like
plus.
180, 185, she'll be at like 230, 235.
Yep.
Yeah, I think that's reasonable.
Yeah, I don't disagree, and you should be able to reach it, even though I didn't. But it all depends on where your mods fall. My offense mods were not friendly, so and it's turning out.
And as I said earlier, there's nothing wrong with a speed arrow.
No, I could boost her up right now to what, 200 something, 204 or something like that, 203. So,
Yeah.
Yeah. But overall, just a really good character, and she is such a great. Well, they call her an attacker. She is a great support character too, because with that heal and protection back, I mean, you can give her bolt tags. Honestly, she is so good.
Yes.
All right, so I appreciate it again, Dagger. We will go into Kenobi, another versatile guy that will jump everywhere. But again, it's about modding as versatile as you can get your characters. For those that especially don't know how to mod or just need a little bit of help tweaking, we're going to go into that next. But Dagger, thank you again, man. I appreciate it, brother.
No problem. Just remember that she's 16, so don't get any ideas.
Yeah, exactly. Don't forget, guys, we're still chasing 1,000. I appreciate you. Till next time, we are 1 Battalion Strong.
Shut up and sit down.